Good afternoon, ma'am.
Good afternoon. Please tell me when to start.
Yes, ma'am.
Can we start now?
Yeah, ma'am. They are joining. You can start now.
Yes, ma'am.
So, good afternoon to the students. So, the student today, what we are going to do is we are going to talk about the OpenAI and ChatGPT. So, the session entirely will be firstly on OpenAI, and you can also say generative AI, and then we can go ahead with the ChatGPT. Few things that what it can do for you as a coder, as a developer, how it can help you. And we will take some demo of chat gpt also in the session, and then I will open the forum for the question answers, because I may also tell you a few things, that a few other AI tools which are becoming very popular in terms of creating content, in terms of developers, for developers, in terms of making websites and all. So we can discuss that if the time permit. So let's start. Okay, can you allow me to share the screen, please? Keonix, can I share the screen? Please give me that access.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, got it. Thank you. So students will start with this. Just give me a few seconds. You can in between post the question if you want on the chat, and I'll look into it. And if I can answer those questions, I'll be happy to do that. Okay, so good afternoon, students. Today we're going to talk about the evolution. Just give me a few seconds. Just give me a few seconds. Okay, sorry about that. So today what we are going to do is we will be, just give me a minute, okay? I'll just restart this slide. There's something happened with the slide. Let me just restart. Give me a few seconds. I'll just start the slide. Oh, it's done. Sorry about that. Just give me a few seconds. It's just troubling me for some time. I hope you all can see now. So we're going to talk about the next generation AI. And today there are a lot of models which we talk. So no longer when we think about AI, we think about machine learning, deep learning, or the Python for coding and all. The AI is evolving a lot, and last few years, especially after COVID-19, is a huge advancement in terms of AI. And one of the AI which is becoming very popular is a generative AI. And GPT-3 or Chat GPT, which is very popular among the students also, and a lot of people are debating about the use advantage and all. That is the application of generative AI. So we're going to talk about that because we should know what it is. So before we go ahead, students, we should know about what is OpenAI. So OpenAI is again a concept, or it's a company. It's a San Francisco based company which is behind GPT-3. What is GPT-3? That also I will tell you in the coming slides. So we have to actually, before we talk about this company and GPT-3 or generative AI, we should also talk about a long driven historical debate. And this debate is basically on the uh, something which is very much related why this open AI has come into the market. And the debate is all about people, one set of people saying advancement in AI is for the betterment or for the prosperous future. On the other side, there are people or a set of people who fear that AI is going to be a threat for humankind. Normally in the classes also, it might be your teacher might have discussed about this topic, and you might have asked many times, ma'am, is AI going to take our jobs? How the AI is going to become threatened for us. We have seen a lot of movies, and in those movies you might have seen that how AI is destructing human race and trying to overcome with their power, the physical power or maybe the mental power, whatever it is. So when we say that, now the set of people who found AI as a positive force, one of them is called Ray Kurzweil. Ray Kurzweil is an American inventor. He's a futurist and machine learning director of Google. He heads the Google machine learning department. He, from his point of view, where he has written a book called Age of Spiritual Machine, a wonderful book. And in this book, he has said that AI is going to free human from repetitive task, routine, monotonous job. And it will give human being more free time, enable them to do some creative pursuit. On the other hand, the people like Bill Gates, who's a CEO of a biggest company in the world, Microsoft, at though the Microsoft is working on AI solutions, but he also have a concern that AI is at the same time amazing and also dangerous. He fears, for example, that AI being applied, if AI is being applied, a warfare to manage autonomous weapon, then it will destroy the entire human race. On the other hand, there's also other kind of a people like Elon Musk, the CEO of Tesla and SpaceX. He has also told and shown his concern about development of AI. So, and there's another notable person called Stephen Hawking, and you might have seen the movie of his, which is Theory of Nothing. So, this person, who's a physicist and cosmologist, he also basically talked about how in future the AI can become the humanity greatest threat. And responding to this concern, in October 2015, Elon Musk, along with Sam Altman and the former president of the startup accelerator Y Combinator, He's a Y Combinator is a very big company now. And the other co-founder, like for example, the LinkedIn co-founder Reid Hoffman and Peter Thai, the co-founder of PayPal, all these people created a corporation which was called OpenAI. Okay, so these are the people who co-founded, along with the Elon Musk, a company, a non-profitable organization called OpenAI. So it's a name of a company. Okay, and then there were certain corporations, like for example, the Microsoft, okay, and Infosys, not Infosys of India, Infosys with T, were also the founding member of this particular company called OpenAI. And because these people who are acknowledging they're concerned about risk of future of AI, they also try to say that we are not only showing or expressing our concern, we are also committed to take action to prevent such risk. And this is the objective of OpenAI, to develop or promote friendly AI in a manner that it will benefit humanity. The AI should be developed for the benefit of humanity. That is the purpose of this particular company called OpenAI. To demonstrate this commitment, there are a lot of founding team which pledged around $1 billion. All these people, Elon Musk, Reid Hoffman, and all these people have pledged $1 billion for this organization. And the mission of this organization, to form this organization, was very clear, that OpenAI will focus on ensuring that artificial general intelligence, which also we say AGI, will be for benefit of the world, benefit of the humanity. They will build a safe, uh, general artificial general intelligence, and the mission is to achieve the AI or develop the AI for the benefit of humanity. So the organization began in 2016 as the, with 9 researchers. And by April of that year, they released their first product called OpenAI Gym. So in 2016 April, they released the first AI product, which was an open source free software called OpenAI Gym. This is a toolkit for developing and comparing reinforcement learning algorithm. So students, by now, because you all are, I've been told that you are a third year BCA students, so you already know that what is reinforcement, supervised and non-supervised learning. So I'm not going to focus on that. So I will just move, assuming that you know this. So I'll talk about this term or use this term in my session today. So reinforcement learning is when a computer employs, little bit, I'll tell you, trials and error method to come up with a solution. And the AI receives either a reward or penalty. It's like negative reinforcement and positive reinforcement. In negative reinforcement, if AI does something wrong, it gets punishment. Punishment in terms of penalty. Or AI does something good, in a common man language I'm talking, it gets reward. So in December 2016, OpenAI released another product called Universe. And a platform, it is a platform which enabled AI software to interact with computer, such as viewing what is on the screen and using a virtual keyboard and mouse. So a computer could look at the computer screen. Sorry, AI software can look at the computer screen and will use a virtual keyboard and mouse and interact with that. That was the work of a Universe. And these solutions were followed by several more in the machine learning space. And then again, in following that, in 2018, OpenAI published a paper on generative pre-training. And that became the first version of GPT software. Okay, so the GPT and generative model, I will talk about that in the later slides, that what it is, what kind of modeling it uses. So this is called the product of OpenAI. This GPT became most popular product of OpenAI. And this is an open source and freely available software application. Sorry, this is a basically the entire goal of this OpenAI company is to encourage transparency, okay, and learning, that dissemination of the benefit and for the advancement of the humanity, as I'm always telling. So the latest version of GPT version 3 or the 4, which has come now, the subject of this course is like, it is an open source. It is available for all, right? So the reason OpenAI provide are mixed, like including the size of the code, for open source coding, an opportunity for monetization. Also, they come up with this. They also fear that the challenges or the kind of disadvantage it will create in the society, which is already talked about a lot in media and in the country. Given its power to create a problematic output, it can be an offensive. It can go to lead to a litigation like copyright issues and all those things. So in 2019, OpenAI dropped its designation from non-profit organization and became a profit enterprises. So what did I tell students till now? That OpenAI was started by Elon Musk and six of the researchers who were the co-founder of big company like LinkedIn and all. So these people came together for the purpose of developing AI for the benefit of humanity, and they wanted the common man to get the benefit of this AI, and AI should be open to all. That was a purpose, and it was a non-profit organization. But because of so and so problem, which I have shown you in this year timeline from 2016 to 2019, 2019 AI, OpenAI became a profit of enterprises. Why it became? Because it needed, this was done to basically attract further investment to, so if, because they needed fund. So if OpenAI became profitable, and Microsoft stepped forward and became a significant investor. They pumped in around $1 billion into this new commercial profit enterprises. So Microsoft became an OpenAI preferred partner to license its technology. Sorry, just a minute. So the Microsoft, as I was telling, that they became the partner to license its technology. And Microsoft obviously is a company which is working for profit. They don't want to, term themselves as a non-profit organization. They didn't want to do any charity and all. So uh, Microsoft now is going to use this GPT. I'm going to talk about that in the later part of the session, that how in your Microsoft Office can integrate now, and it's already done, GPT and what you can do. So Elon Musk involvement in OpenAI has now decreased from 2018. And though he gave a reason, a very typical reason uh, in the press, saying that there's a conflict of interest with his work at Tesla, and that's the reason he is not able to devote that kind of time to this company. And but he is still there, but he is there as a funding partner, as a donor, maybe a sleeping partner. So today we all know about GPT. Every student know about Chat GPT because of his popularity from 2012 when it became free, 22, sorry. And the Microsoft also trying to promote it hugely because they want to gain profit from this particular, product of AI. So you can understand the journey now, how it started with the objective of giving a free, open services of AI available to all, and also the purpose was to for the benefit. But now where it is leading, you can see that. So it is becoming totally a business. Now you will find a lot of courses, students online, where there are a lot of Udemy or Edureka or even Coursera or even LinkedIn. They are providing courses on how to use Chat GPT for marketing, how to use Chat GPT for developer. I have also covered in the later part of the session that how you can use Chat GPT to become a better coder. I'm not saying use Chat GPT and write codes, because then that also I will tell you what happens. But how do you take help? Okay, so that's all about it. So the OpenAI organization is a distinguished organization. Its track record is very good till now, and the mission is to support the friendly use of AI technology. This is what I have been telling you till now. So with many concerned about the possible implication of AI as a threat to humanity, the OpenAI mission was considered by the entire business organization. It's a very refreshing and enlightening. And that's how the people started, getting connected to OpenAI. So the subject of how we approach AI is not very novel, or they are not doing anything very new, but they are coming up. They wanted to bring a particular field, particular subject in the AI, which is called machine ethics, which nobody thought about. When AI is developed, people don't talk about ethics, because when it comes to ethics, people think only ethics is related to humanity. Human beings should follow an ethics like what is wrong, what is right. So machine ethics, which includes the ethics of AI, is a topic dedicated to the subject and include participants such as university, philosopher, corporation, and others. So governments are also involved now in this. The topic of AI regulation, the legislation is now become a part of this journey. In United Arab Emirates, for example, there is a Ministry of AI, and basically this Ministry of AI who preview the um, the usage or the ethics of AI. So machine ethics is becoming a very, very big topic in terms of formulation of rules and regulation in relation to the AI domain. So machine ethics includes such as, for example, if we want to talk about machine ethics, people can write papers and present in the conferences on this. Like, for example, biasness in AI, weaponization, which Elon Musk is fearing about. Bill Gates, the morality, the robot autonomy, like Sophia and all, and liabilities. So each of these are beyond the scope of these, AI, and each of this required research, because these are all evolving areas of AI. Okay, so now let us turn our attention to OpenAI and machine ethics. In 2019, in an attempt to capture the principle by which they can execute the mission of enabling AI for the benefit of humanity, that was a purpose of OpenAI. OpenAI company published a charter, a document which is codified expression of their strategy, and was developed with the feedback from inside and outside the organization. And it's an important document which tells that, which states to the people that what is their values, why they are doing this, why they are developing AI, for what purpose the AI is being developed, what is the inspiration and guidance to the other. So all these are there. So when I went through this, and I could summarize this for you. You can go to this website called openai.com/charter, because when you go for an interview students, and sometimes they ask you about generative AI, which is nothing but OpenAI or a company example you can give. At that time, they may tell that what kind of charter, because the charter is becoming this charter, what they have framed, has become a universal law for now generative AI. So you should know a little bit about it. So what I can tell you is that it has few points. Like the first principle, it is based on 4 principles. The first principle says that it should be for the benefit of artificial general intelligence. Okay, that means it should be the benefit. It should be artificial general intelligence should be enjoyed by everyone, not only by companies, but by everyone. The focus should remain on the advantage to the humanity. And the second principles say that the research and development should be in this field should be safe. In addition, it should be noted that AGI project emerged from the competitors should be in the way to incentivize the market. It should be incentivizing the progress in the business. So OpenAI will not compete and will instead assist in the competition. So the third OpenAI principle is to strive to be leader in both AI, which is artificial intelligence, and AGI, artificial general intelligence, which is for the humanity, benefit of humanity, OpenAI, which we say, as the knowledge of cutting edge capability. So the technologies are necessary in order to mitigate all kinds of risk and try to amplify the benefit. Finally, the fourth principle, it says that it should be committed for broad collaboration with researchers and policy institutions like government. So central to this thing is that these are the 4 basic principles. If any company, apart from OpenAI company by Elon Musk and all this, or now it's for Microsoft, any particular company trying to use generative AI, they should base their development on these 4 principles. Then only the concept or the goal of OpenAI will be, or generative AI will be for the benefit of humanity, not for the threat of humanity. So they want to The basic thing is they want to participate in building a very strong AI community across the planet. And they want to meet all the challenges, all the risk which they are assuming AI can pose for the human being. So, in my view, there are two key ideas to take away from OpenAI Charter. Number one, we should recognize the novel and unique nature of this organization. That why this organization was meant. Now it has become a profit organization, but the mission is same. The mission is to create an AI which can be used by anyone, and the mission is to create the AI or develop the AI for the benefit of humanity, not for the destruction of humanity. Okay, so it is born and it should live on the foundation that AI must be created safely for the good of humanity. Number two, these principles can be leveraged to develop an AI or a charter for any organization that believe in protecting humanity. So any organization like Google or Apple or IBM, any company, small company also, those who are in the development of AI for coming up with a lot of latest tools of AI, they should develop this AI for the benefit of human being, not for the profit should be a purpose, but then again, the main objective should be for the benefit, not for the threat. It should not pose any threat. So that is the two principle on the basis of that. Now let us understand. I've spoken a lot about OpenAI. Let's understand the principle that how does it work? Okay, the background. So you all might have heard about NLP, natural language processing. So one of the core feature of GPT-3 is the ability to ingest large amount of data available. That means large amount of content available on the net and use it to create original output. That means that mimics or that copy the human based text. Like you can create a new story, which will look like a new song or a new article using this chat GPT. And this will be the way how it works. That is what we are going to understand now. So the quality of the output should be so high that it will become so difficult to distinguish it from any other something which is written by a person. So this is not the only feature of GPT-3. There are other central features also which we'll see. To enable and support the high quality output, there are a number of AI techniques which are employed. In particularly, GPT-3 utilized an approach which is an intersection of AI, computer science, and human language called natural language processing or NLP. So understanding the basic of NLP can help you to further appreciate the breakthrough in the GPT, because GPT-3 is a one version which has become outdated. Now GPT-4, after that 5, 6, 7 will come. So let's begin with an example of NLP in action. So many of us now uses the voice command to digital device like Alexa, Google Home. So we also ask our smartphone and laptop through voice, maybe on Google search also to carry out certain requests. They do that, they understand that. So these devices, I'm trying to make you understand about NLP. These devices listen to our words and try to make sense out of it. They try to derive a meaning out of it, means they try to interpret what from our voice and try to understand what do we want. So our voice is a audio input, and then they execute some action such as providing direction and playing our, like for example, we ask Alexa to play our song. So they play that album. So this is done through NLP. And the same technology that make the sense of voice command can also be applied to text input. Okay. On the computer. So this enable functions such as chatbots, search engine, language translation, spell check, sentiment analysis. So a process that classify emotion into subjective language. This is NLP work in the background. So the state of NLP is nothing but it's a state of art software. At a high level, NLP generally work like a software which pre-processes the text in sentence in order to provide some form of structure. I will give you example. That means from a sentence, whether it is spoken or it is a written text, the NLP try to understand and interpret what does it mean. So one or more of the following can be. So the sentence is what happens is normally the sentence is broken into words, which is called tokenization. So the individual word known as tokens, okay, like this. So it is all the sentence which you can see here. He does not play, but my daughter is on a hockey team. This is the entire sentence. You break this sentence, each word, and it become a tokenization in NLP. I don't know whether you have done NLP or not. So there's a broad concept of NLP, theoretical concept you should understand before you go for developing any AI solution for NLP. So the individual word is called token here. And you can see that unnecessary punctuation is removed from the last sentence. You can see all commas, quotation mark, full stops are removed here. Okay. Two words can be identified and tagged as noun. Okay. You can see that. After tokenization, what do you do? The second step is to identify. I'm just giving you a small overview of NLP, how it works. So here in the sentence, all the words are now tagged as noun, verb, adjective, pronouns, etc. And the third is the application of stemming. Okay. So application of stemming means what? This is where the words are standardized and put into the context by reducing them to their root form. For example, the word bank, banker, and banking all are associated with a root word called bank. Again, I'll repeat. So if you have a word called banker, banking, and banks, the root word for these three words are bank. That bank is a stem. So that's how called stemming. So that root word will be used to assign the context to all other to the financial institution or the act of turning into income. Hence, once the text has been pre-processed, a machine learning algorithm is used to interpret the data. And this algorithm uses statistical model based on vast volume of example data called training data. By now, you might have known this. Maybe in tomorrow's session, I'll talk about the no-code AI, and I'll teach you that you will understand how the data is so important. The volume, the vast volume and the variety of data is so important to train AI. Develop the AI model with training with those data. So when the pre-processing text is analyzed by ML or algorithm, it is looking for the word, phrases, and pattern of the text that are similar from the training data in which you have trained your AI model, okay, on some previous data. So if there is a high probability that the words and the context are understood, the NLP now know the topic of the text. Finally, NLP can be used for, which we say in the, we use in GPT, especially Chat GPT, is called the NLG, Natural Language Generation. So this is a process which analyze and pre-process text, interpretate it, and then use insight from the input to generate new content. So this is the capability which is applied in GPT-3. So when we say GPT-3, what is GPT-3? 3 is a version, obviously, now it's 4. It stands for Generative Pre-Trained Transformer. So this is a full form, Generative Pre-Trained Transformer version 3. Okay, so G is generative, P is pre-trained, and T is transformer. So name like that was obviously created by the people. Actually, I feel, because I'm from a management, I feel that the people didn't know marketing. That's why they used, just like the technology, they use the name technology itself as a name. Okay, let's keep the joke aside, and we'll go to the GPT. So GPT-3 uses advanced algorithm, that is a set of rules for problem solving that computer follow. So the lot of data to create original human, it uses actually a lot of data to create original human-like text. That is the output. Natural language processing, NLP, produces something called NLG, natural language generation. And the quality of output that GPT-3 produce is so good, it is hard, even impossible, that some will say that it is not human generated text. GPT-3 can create meaningful stories, okay, poems, email, chatbot response, even software coding, which we will see now in the demo today. Okay. And just from a few prompts from a human. For example, take a look at how GPT-3 based in some training data was able to change legal jargons into plain English. So it's helpful when we look into contract or something like that. We don't understand the English of that. It's so tough. It uses a lot of jargon. We can put that into GPT-3 and make it simple. Isn't it useful? So I'll provide many compelling example later. So GPT-3 is based on, as I said, generative model of language. Okay. So generative model use existing knowledge of language to make prediction on what word may come next based on series of previous word. For example, suppose if I give you this word, we remember you might be sometime you might your teacher might do this as a ice breaking exercise, right? We used to do it long time back, but now we stopped because students are now not interested in these outdated games. But we used to do, okay, once upon a time, and then we asked the other person to fill. And the other person also might have heard a lot of stories, and depending on that, his experience, his previous experience, or maybe his memory where he has heard the stories, he connect. So every person connects with depending on his experience, a story, and try to relate it with it. So by the end of the chain of the students, when we come, let's say there are 20 students, by the time we come from 1 to 20 students, the story is completed. The same process or same logic is applied in generative language, generative model. Okay, so here we get the word generative in generative pre-trained transformer. So that's the reason it is called generative. And pre-trained means that it is trained on previous. So like I just now I told you, you have heard a story where the story starts with once upon a time, and then you have a story, there was a king, there was a queen, or maybe you can say there was a bania or something like that you say. So based on those pre-trained data, it transformed and produced a new story. This is a simple example. Like I said, so the model will predict the time as next, once upon, what should come. Obviously, when I give you this, you obviously say, when at least you will say the term once upon a time. You will know this immediately without thinking, without blinking your eyes. You will predict the next word should be time, as the next word is based on the analysis. So how the GPT work on this? They predict the next word on the basis of large corpus of content, large training data, which it has acquired from variety of sources, can be including Wikipedia, or it can be a common crawl. Okay. So a free set of data with about a trillions of words derived from pursuing the internet. So to help make the system smart as to speak, just give me a few seconds. There are some noise. Students are doing some kind of a event here in near our office. I don't know for what purpose. I'm just going to go to some other place where the noise is little less. Okay, so what I was trying to tell you is that, okay, I was here. So I said that the data is acquired from variety of sources like Wikipedia, Common Crawl, where we have free set of data, about a trillion of words. And so to help the system, make the system smart to speak, the text is randomly removed from the acquired content because it should look like an original content. It should not be a copy, right? So the software is trained to fill it in with the correct missing word. This is where we get the word pre-trained, okay, in the generative. I told you about generative. So Generative, the word generative in the pre-trained is about generative model of the knowledge of language. That is generative in generative pre-trained. And pre-trained is a training coming from these kinds of data set available on the net, like in Wikipedia or Common Crawl, the data free data set. And powering all these type of AI, we use something called deep learning, which is based on 70 years of research in neural network, right? These network power the AI learning and AI powered recognition system to learn what is, for example, if we have to learn about bicycle and identify, if the computer has to identify this as a bicycle. Now, it must, in order to make train computer recognize something like this, the structure or the image to be as a bicycle, which may vary in shape, size, designs and all, but ultimately there will be some common feature. Like bicycle means it will have two wheels only, not more than two wheels. Sometimes you may have, kind of a supporting wheel, but mostly it will be like that. Okay, so it for in this case, so the computer need to be provided with large volume of existing bicycle pictures. Okay, this I will show you in the next session. So it's a cold neural network where the computer tried to mimic the function of our brain. Neural network is that neural, neurology or the neural network structure of our brain. So the network consists of web of connected nodes or computational units. You all know about it. Okay, and these type of neural network are used in GPT-3, which is called transformer. Okay, so particularly when we look into the text and you use, and we see that in the word sequence, it tried to interpret it meaning, each word meaning. And this is where we get the word transformer in generative pre-trained transformer. It transforms every word in a sentence or in something into some other generation, which means same or which have relevant meaning. So that's how in the neural network data, it will try to find out. The data will move from one node to the other node and try to find out. If one of these criteria is weight and strength of connection between nodes. You might know about it. These are all technical things. So if criteria is not met, the data does not get processed. So it has to meet certain criteria and it will move to the other node. So this repeat until the data rise and correct data is formed. It is transformed at the end of the neural network. And that makes GPT-3 a game changer. Related to its two versions, the OpenGym and the universe, which I told you. And also the GPT initial version, GPT-2 and 1.5. So GPT-3 has 175 billion users. It is currently 10 times the size of, so this is how the GPT-3 looks like. If you can see here the data, it's really big. And the model parameter is really big. So you can see here the process of learning from the data. The algorithm store the value in the model, these parameters. So basically the GPT-3, in GPT-3, the sentence beginning once upon a time, which I was giving you a example here, right? So what it does, suppose if we take that example again and I try to make you understand. So has a very close guaranteed probability of correct computation. Accuracy level is very high. Now, also, I want to talk about something in GPT-3, GPT which we use, which is called few shot learning or one shot learning. Okay, you should know this concept. And these are the concepts which are actually asked to the students who learn AI and go for a interview. So the test of AI capability is a degree. You all know we have Alan Turing test. We have so many tests. So the test of AI is to find the capability of AI in the sense that in what degree to which the human must provide, it matches the human being with the answer in correct outcome. How does it, how do we compare that with the human outcome? So it is, or human intelligence. So it is generally acknowledged with a fewer example. AI need to predict AI should be given with some example and it should predict accurately and give a better solution. So let's say, for example, we want to use AI for translation from English to French. Okay. So we enter the word cheese and we wait for AI to translate. Since the algorithm does not know what language to translate it to, it is not going to be able to do anything. This is called zero-shot learning. In the other word, we provide no guidance. However, if we instead feed the AI with something like friends equal to Amy, which is a French word of friends, and then query what cheese equal to. Now it has something to take an example or something to work with. This is called one-shot learning. So I hope you people have understood. Zero-shot learning, no guidance. But one-shot learning is where we are setting one example. Looking at that example, it knows what pattern has to be followed. Now in this, the GPT-3 look for a pattern. Using its vast language model, it may get the right answer. Finally, if we give GPT-3 more example, right? Maybe the accuracy of this, if we give one-shot learning, the accuracy may not be 100%. So if we give GPT-3 more example, now we call it as few-shot learning then. So house equal to Mason, friends equal to Amy, and rain equal to Plumy. Then query what cheese equal to. The likelihood of GPT-3 getting the right answer increases with this. So, of course, so this is what GPT is being tasked with. So it has been shown to provide, so it will give the correct answer, cheese equal to fromage in French. So GPT can provide a good result in few-shot learning, not in zero-shot learning. So finally, unlike the previous version, GPT-3 is not being made freely available. It is there, but so this is the learning which happens, zero-shot learning, one-shot and few-shot. GPT-3 uses a few-shot learning model of language. So what has happened is so that's what I was trying to tell you, that the GPT-3 basically is now being made. Initially it was made free. Now they have certain kind of challenges. It is available, but not, with a great difficulty, you have a waiting time and all. So the public API will be available to use under certain conditions. In late 2020, Microsoft assumed zero control of source code when Microsoft, they bought the GPT or OpenAI company. Now it is really fascinating to see how Microsoft incorporate GPT-3 into Word, Excel, and Bing, and it is already doing it. Now you can incorporate, maybe if I get time today, I will show you that how GPT-3 you can use, and you can create a wonderful Excel data analytics, or you can create a PowerPoint presentation with integrating GPT-3 into your Microsoft Office package. Okay, and so even in the service like Azure platform also is using the GPT-3 now. That's the reason why Microsoft has invested. There's no investment without any profit motive. So GPT-3 is certainly not without some significant weakness or challenges. So we are going to also explore what are the weakness and challenges. Okay, so Microsoft and the other companies are now building on this baseline of GPT-3 and trying to create a lot of powerful AI. Already it is done. So we will see that also. Some example you will see. GPT-3 was released in kind of an experimentation to a limited audience in 2020. So far, we have seen a lot of remarkable demonstration and even few solutions. A lot of people have started using it. A lot of countries started banning it and all those kinds. But the degree to which GPT-3 will be incorporated fully into productive solution by Microsoft is going to become a premium service now. Okay, so they are giving just a sample to make people get used to it, like Red Bull. So many yearly demonstration of this technology is just to tease the possibility and get the people used to this technology and make them start using it. And they get addicted to this. So let's take a look at few. I will start with GPT-3 running as a function within Google. You can go to the Google Sheet. Now in my this Apple Mac, laptop, I don't have a Google Sheet. It doesn't work. That particular function doesn't work, but you can try it out. So what you can do is you can open a Google Sheet, and in a cell, you can include the data for the population of 4 US states. Like, for example, you can write the data on, state New York, and the data for what is the population, write that. Okay. And you can write California, you can write, other country, other 4 states in US, right there, population, exact population data which you have. Now you write a country, Stanford, and you don't know the population. Include GPT-3 function in the cell because you don't know the population. So you write Stanford equal to, and then write in the spreadsheet GPT-3 and copy that previous cell where the population, the 4 states population. In the bracket, write the cell range. What it will do is, it will try to copy and understand that what you want. It will understand that you have written the US 4 states population and you want to derive the population of Stanford. So it will go ahead, search the net, find the population and populate that for you. This is how you can derive now information directly into Excel using GPT-3. This is one which I tried for myself. And this is also, again, the example of few shot learning, that you give example of some data and then ask them, like, for example, you give the stock price of all the US company and then write one company and write GPT-3 and copy those cell address. Immediately, it will understand that you want to know the formula, the stock price of that particular company, and derive that. Okay. So this is the few shot learning model. So you can see here, simply typing in the description. So this is how the GPT is nowadays used. So GPT has a lot of, interesting example. Like you have other companies, you can use also in dbuild.co. Chat GPT-3, everybody is using now. Deepfake, the person does not exist.com is a site where you can go and you can make a face which doesn't resemble anyone. You can guarantee that that face does not resemble anyone. Suppose you want to make a movie with somebody and that person, you want a unique face which does not resemble anyone in the world, you can go there and you can make that. So Chat GPT can do a lot of things, create quizzes for your courses. I do all these things. Our teachers are doing a lot of things like that. They're making MCQs. You people are writing articles, your project work, all these things you already know. Okay. So this particular website, which I told you, people, please try it out, which says this person does not exist. Okay. And you can, this is a kind of a AI-based machine learning algorithm, which uses neural network, and it create a fascinating face, and it guarantee that that face will not match anybody's in the database. Okay. So there are numerous other examples, like you can complete an email from just a few text prompt. You can write a poem, you can write a story, you can create a song using somebody else's voice. All these things you can do. Okay. You can, do a lot of things. You can use, and the other forms of applications of OpenAI is DALI, which you can use. You can also use platform, which are very good. Codex is very good for developer. I'll talk about that. Okay. So you can create images of anything. You can have a creative things done. Okay, this I will do later. So what are the challenges and limitation of GPT-3? GPT-3 is become very popular from the last year. And the stunning achievement of this particular thing is that its ability to generate the content and also develop the code for the coders. But it has certain significant challenges and limitations. Okay. And also remember that it is still in the test stage. Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has admitted that the hype may be too much. He didn't know that the hype will be too much. About this is so much. So he tweeted, the GPT, the hype is way too much. Okay, he said it is thankful, but at the same time, it is just a glimpse. It's just on the testing stage. So they're recognizing that AI will change the world. He considered GPT-3 just an early glimpse of what it may be ahead. The big issue with GPT-3 can be categorized into two areas. Okay, one, it has a technical imperfection, and the two, it is risk replicating human biasness. Now it's strange, how can, like how human are biased towards certain people, certain community, certain things, certain situations, certain experiences. So these categories are rooted in understanding the GPT-3 challenges. So we use clever algorithm and data to give illustration of thought, which I have just explained you. Okay. So this way, it is very close to narrow AI. Very close. Let's look at both of these challenging areas. Begin with technical limitation. So why? Because the chat GPT main thing is to produce human-like short text output. It is remarkable. When you ask to produce large amount of text with some complexity, the quality of the output literally decline. This is one challenge. Short text like writing a mail, writing a short story, writing a case study, all these are good. But when you write an entire book, ask to retire the entire book with this, it declines. It can sometimes read like gibberish. So GPT-3 impressively understanding of language comes from volume of training data that it accesses. What is the kind of data it is accessing to reproduce that data into original form? It depends on that. Okay. So Common Crawl, one of the main source of data, which it takes. I told you there are two sources of data, Wikipedia and Common Crawl, free set of data. So one of the main source of data, which it takes is Common Crawl. It contains billions of phrases, trillions of words from across the internet. So it's an example of how using this training data in the absence of actual intelligence. So following paragraph was entered into GPT-3. Okay. And the final words were omitted so that the software would complete it. So it is written like, if you read it, you are a defense lawyer and you have to go to court today. Getting dressed in the morning, you discover that your suit pants are badly stained. However, your bathing suit, is clean and very stylish. In fact, it is expensive French quarter and it was a birthday present from Isabel. You decide that you should wear and then it leaves. You have to complete. Now GPT-3 was instructed to complete the paragraph. Okay. So what do you think? If you have to complete this paragraph, what will you write? Think once, then I'll go ahead. And if GPT-3 is to complete this, so this is what GPT-3 will complete. It will add the bathing suit to the code. Here you have left the yellow one is what it completes. The bathing suit to the code. You arrive at the courthouse and you're met by bailiff, who escort you to the courtroom. GPT-3 process the text and determine that you should wear the bathing suit to court. Somehow, I don't think that was a very wise decision. Will you do that? And if a human being is supposed to complete this sentence, will they write a bathing suit? Because they will know that the context is that in the court you can't wear bathing suit. Even though it's very expensive, it is very designer, you can't wear. So whatever we are seeing here is the GPT-3 algorithm and data knows that a clean bathing suit is something that is wearable, particularly if another item of clothing such as pant are not. What it does not have is the intelligence to know that it is a bad idea to wear a bathing suit to a court as a lawyer. Correct or not? So let's look at the risk of bias in generated output. Okay, I told you one incorrect output. Okay, so um, so when we say GPT-3 uses a process of unsupervised learning. You know all about supervised, unsupervised reinforcement. Process of unsupervised learning when it processes its training data. Unsupervised means that the information being ingested is not flagged as being right or wrong. The algorithm learns by looking for and determining pattern. Supervised learning is the opposite and is aided by the guidance of meaning and accuracy. So there are numerous reasons to choose one approach over the other. But primary to unsupervised training is the ability to process vast amount of unstructured data without any human intervention. While there is a large upside to unsupervised learning, the downside is potential for bias. So what I mean to say that central to how GPT-3 works is the ability to look for a sequence of words and also the word and the phrases that are adjacent to related text. That can be problematic. So GPT-3 software is not in a position yet to discover what is right or wrong, or both factual or value-based perspective. Unfortunately, therefore, always there is a possibility that the text may be churned out, which doesn't look logically correct or in the context. Let's just say, insensitive. So let's remember the web is a reflection of all that is human. So consider this for a moment. If the organization used GPT-3 to auto-generate email, articles, and papers, etc., and there's no human review process, the legal and the reputational risk would be significant. Okay. So even the Sam Altman, the CEO of OpenAI, has admitted that the GPT-3 or ChatGPT is still evolving. There are a lot of limitation you need to understand. So you cannot use professionally. The software does not yet have the ability to eliminate or understand the context just like human being. And without human intervention, you cannot process those content which is created by GPT-3. So this is one of the challenges. Okay. So what is the future of GPT-3 and AI? Okay. So GPT-3 is very remarkable. And one of the most important qualities, how it may inform us about what is ahead of AI. So let's look at what GPT-3 may mean to customer services. Let's look into some example. Okay. So many of us have likely already experienced the value of chatbots. We normally in our day-to-day life in the apps, we come across with the chatbot. So chatbot is an online software which enables a human to converse with a computer. So typically we see it in a customer services or in any of the customer services app or e-commerce app. So you might visit a website and a chatbot will pop up suddenly and asking you, how may I help you? Like you go to the HDFC and the Eva chat, hi, I am Eva, and how can I help you? So you have a supported, simple, you can just ask some questions and it will answer. Like you can ask for product price, you can ask for the availability or FAQ, some frequently asked question. So chatbot does a simple search. This is how the chatbot works and return the answer. However, the complicated queries is something where only the chatbot or the intelligent chatbot can answer. Right? So GPT-3 is changing this. Firstly, it provides the possibility of much better customer experience by broadening the ability for reply with detailed and accurate answer, even for the complex query. However, as more questions are answered and more insights are derived from customers who ask the question, the chatbot becomes smarter through transfer learning. So that means there is a reinforcement learning which is happening, which is a basis of the chat GPT-3. I told you, it does by trial and error method, the reinforcement learning, reward and penalty. So if the customers are asking too many questions, from that questions, it trained its model to answer even the complex or not most frequently asked question. So this is a machine learning method that uses a previous insight as a starting point for new requests. So it's like when a human learn to paint with watercolor, okay? And when they later start using oil paint, let's say you have started learning in the school, you used watercolor, and suddenly somebody tells you that now you have to use, the oil paint. They don't have to, you don't have to relearn how to hold the paintbrush that you have already learned, whatever paint you're using. So AI developed, similarly as AI developed, the chatbot conversations seem more like human because the way the human learn in different situations, like I just gave you example, the way you do the painting with the watercolor, if the oil paint is given, the brush stroke and all those you have already learned, only the paint media is different. So you will learn by trial error method that the using the oil paint, there can be a little different, slightly different process to color. Started different strokes, started different pressure and all. So the chatbot conversations with GPT-3 is going to become human-like, as I said. Okay. So each question and answers will try to attend knowledge. Every question asked, every answer given, and if it is a wrong answer, it added to the thing. So it is very reasonable to understand that the skills and experience will, just like a human being, it build the ability. Similarly, it will build the ability in the thing. So it is not possible to simply sit down in front of the computer without any specific skill and write a complex software program. If you are a developer, you need to learn some skills, learn some language like Python and all. So what happened when AI act as a mediator that convert plain English into code that normally require deeper skills? So you get something called low coding, okay, with GPT-3. Okay, and its successor, no coding, which I'm going to explain you tomorrow in the next session. We will learn about no coding tools. So I will take you to certain platform and we'll do no coding AI. So there is a high demand of highly skilled work, which has been devalued. It's just like a double-edged sword, which I showed you. Other world, they are likely to be automated by GPT-3, and the future AI will range from, now it is not able to do it, which I will show you. The explanation of legal document, it will become so good that it will explain you. You just put the legal document, scan it, it will explain every nitty-gritty of that, which you can't understand. It will do the translation service. It will give you medical answers. It can predict from your image. GPT-4 is about image to text. GPT-3 is text to text. So in GPT-4, you can put your scan report and it can analyze and give you the prediction, how radiologist does. It can read a news article and give you an explanation, a blog post. It can help you in creating a website. So GPT-3 is going to improve in future. So the performance which is demonstrated by GPT-3 is the new research baseline. We can assume that whatever is coming next will be more powerful. Many have pointed out that GPT-3 limitation and error, as it mature, will fade away. So AI today still can't pass the Turing test. That still is, a bar for determining the development standard. You all know about Alan Turing test, right? So we will see that how in our work, day-to-day work, in 24/7 work, without paying anybody for their services, without getting your employee tired, you can definitely scale up or definitely put more effort and do better job with less time using GPT-3. So that's how the GPT-3 is getting used to now. Okay, this is what I said. Now let's talk about a few things about GPT-4 which has come up. Okay, so I told you that GPT-3 is based on natural language processing, or it's a typical AI model which is based or proposed by a team of researchers in Google. Basically when this GPT-3, let me tell you also a little bit of a history that when GPT-3 was, the idea of GPT-3 came, it has evolved from the researcher team in 2017 in Google. They wrote a paper called Attention is All You Need. This is there in the net. You can search and you can read about it. And all large language model, they said, can be used as a component of transformer. So what is remarkable is that you can interact with this model with plain English text called prompt. Okay. So for example, you can say something like, summarize the following text and provide the text. And the large language model will respond by summarizing the version of the text you give it into simple, how many words? Suppose 1,000 word into 50 words. So sometimes you won't get the output you expect now. So you can change the prompt, suppose, because it's just like a search. Okay, just like a search engine. If you are doing a smart search engine, then only you end up getting what a search, getting the result which you expected. Otherwise, you'll waste time. So the language model is made up of parameters, okay, weights, and initially these parameters have random values and it is gibberish. So if you train the model, passing it to the large corpus data, which I told you in the last slide, like Wikipedia and Common Ground, which is a web crawl data, some other data sources, it adjusts its parameters as a part of training process. So you require a huge volume of database. And that database come from these free resources, the data sets resource. Okay. So when you prompt GPT-3, it does not return gibberish, but start providing output similar to the data which it gets from these sources and are trained on those data. So that's how the language model is working, returning the similar type of pattern it picked up during training. And this language modeling are called the large language modeling because they have millions and billions of parameters. Okay. So GPT was the first well-known large language model. It does not work with word. Instead, it works with a part of the word, which I told you, tokenization. So which are around 4 character long. Maybe the word can be a 4 character long. So there is no dictionary in the word that has, over hyphenized. So Google actually claim, suppose if you write a word which doesn't exist in the dictionary and you write in the Google will give you some kind of an answer. Maybe somebody might have written something about that. So it will give you a rough idea about that word which does not exist in the dictionary. Okay. So the main idea behind the GPT technology is subword tokenization and subword tokenization. Okay. So, and which is pre-trained with a set of volume of data from Wikipedia and the corpus of data like common crawls and not. So the training usually, training is something which is very important here. And GPT-3 objective is simple, right? It should get a token. It should predict the next word, and it should use the large volume of data, corpus data, and use the large language modeling process. So, for example, I'll just give you one example to make you understand. Okay, this is what it is. Suppose you give this example. If you type roses, the next word is like to be red, and so on. This is how we have learned, or we've heard this, because these are very common phrases. Okay, so we look at what large language model are, how we can interact with them by providing a prompt as input. This is a prompt. Roses are something, violet are something. Immediately, like a human being, you will know the next word. So if you train the model with these kinds of phrases, they will immediately, if you write roses are red, immediately the violet are something, they will come. So this is what the large language modeling, which helps in GPT-3. So GPT-4 is based on language modeling, again, like GPT. There was also a version of 3 and 3.5, which turned out, 3.5 actually turned out into the version of GPT-4. And it means that GPT-3 was taking the input in the form of text, whereas GPT-4 can take input from more than one source. It can be the text or it can be image data. GPT-3 was taking only text data. GPT-4 can take also image data. And its output will be only text. So GPT-4 can take GPT-3 will take only text input and give you text output, whereas GPT-4 will take text input or image input also along with that. But the output will be only text output. Okay. So this is how the thing has done. So let's look at a couple of example of capability of text only model. So OpenAI is a research company, which I just told you. It has, the same company has created the GPT-4 model. Okay. So the OpenAI researchers wanted to demonstrate the capability of GPT-4 model as compared to human. So what they did, they tested. This is the paper from where I have taken. The paper link also I have provided on the slide. If you want, you can take a look at it. So they tested the GPT-4 on some high school exams in US, like SAT and advanced placement, the GRE, the post-graduation exam. And these exams are used regularly in the US. So they also tested in on some of the professional exam also, like bar exam for lawyers. This bar exam is basically a test which tests the knowledge and skill of lawyers before they become a license. So before getting the license, they have to go through this test. The green bar represent the GPT-4 model performance. And you can see that there are two shades of green. Okay. Some bar are regular green and other are dark green. There's a regular green, there's a dark green. Okay. Now it is because some exam question required the exam taker to look at both the question in text and a figure or an image. In this case, the GPT-4 model, which has taken the test, all these tests like GRE and bar exam, both, they have to look at both text and image. If it was a GPT-3, it could not have answered the question which has both text and image. But GPT-4 model will look at both text and image as an input, and you can see now, and give the proper answer and interpret it. So the different shade of green are distinguished between these models. So the blue represent the previous generation of model before GPT-4, which is GPT-3 or 3.5. Along the x-axis are different exams. If you can see here, all these are different exams. So from the left, we have AP Calculus, AMC, High School Mathematics exam, English Literature, bar exam. On y-axis, you have percentile. So if you are ranked in 85th percentile, this means your score was higher than 85% of the people taking the test. GPT-4 model performed the worst and is in the bottom 10% in the high school English literature and language exam, and some of the high school mathematical exam, if you can see here. Let's take the bar example, which is a 6th vertical. This one. Okay. In this bar exam, the graph is saying that GPT-3 model have scored top 10 of the, here it has scored bottom 10, here all these exams, but here it has scored top 10 of the test taker. It is very clear that it means that GPT-4 is going to be a better at being lawyer than the 90% of those people who have taken this exam, the human lawyers. So if being a lawyer meant you had to take the bar exam every day, then yes, GPT-4 would be better than most of the lawyer. You can have to go to GPT-4 and take their advice rather than going to a lawyer. So joking apart, large language models are excellent in memorizing and retaining subject matter. They have a lot of good memorization capability. So a good chunk of bar exam is all about subject matter knowledge. That's why it could do better in that. But there are a host of some kind of a real task which does not require that knowledge, which requires something else. So it requires, so what happens, the big takeaway from the GPT-4 is that it can match the human level performance across most of the high school exam. Considering the jump in the performance from GPT 3.4, 5 to, if you can see the green bar, which is 3.4. So you can see the model performance is really good in compared to the other model. Okay, so there are multiple choice questions which we're covering in one of the exams, covering 57 different subjects across science. The test is called MMLU, different subjects: science, technology, engineering, mathematics, humanities, social science. There are multiple choice questions with 4 options. And the GPT-4 had accurately answered all those questions and outperformed lot of human beings. So it was better than human being because it was trained on huge corpus of data. Again, the data is very important here, students. Okay. So this result also this test was also done in the other language like Italian, Spanish, German, and French, and have a lot of content posted. So with this test, they could find that in those language also, some languages which are very rarely spoken in the world, like Welsh, Swahili, that data is also available to train the model, because it's all about language modeling. So language is not only English. You can have other language also included. There are a lot of language which is available only in few knowledge available only in few language. So how do you integrate that? So GPT-4 has the capability to work with all kind of language, even the rare to rare language. So GPT 3.5 version was a better than GPT 3, and GPT 3.5 version have progressed to G.4, which uses a large language model. GPT 3 was using a language model, it is using a large language model. And that's how the capability of the model is becoming really good. Okay. So this is what I was telling you. Okay. So when you're talking about how GPT-4 is trained, so OpenAI, when we talk about GPT-4 technical report, which we just saw, so when you look at a large language model and try to determine if the text is generated is good or bad, so what I'll do, I have very less time, so I'll just go a little fast. So GPT-4 also do something which is called reinforcement learning. The reinforcement learning method is a method which take a human feedback, just like a human being. So it is a supervised learning in the form of data, training data, historical data, which also goes into GPT-4. And there was a paper in 2022, which was called Training Language Model to Follow Instruction with Human Feedback. So this GPT-4 has taken a consideration of human feedback, which is called reinforcement learning from human feedback. So this is the first step. So OpenAI research team have create a prompt saying, explain, for example, let's say, I'll just show you one example here. Okay. And this process is called, GPT-4 uses the process called reinforcement learning from human feedback, RLHF. Okay. So I'll give you some example. This is how, if you go to one of the paper, you can see the paper is looking like that. So let's say I'll take an example. So you go to the GPT-4 prompt and say, explain the moon landing to a 6-year-old. And what it does then, the person who's skilled with, like now, if you ask a teacher to do that, a teacher to explain the moon landing to a college student and to a school student, they will use their own intelligence to make it more simpler and understandable by the 6-year-old students, and will make it little more advanced level to make it explain the same concept to the college going students. So GPT-4 can have that ability. For example, it may include a detail like for a 6-year-old child. I have done this. I've just copied the screenshot for you. So it will say the spaceship used was Apollo 11. The 2 American astronauts, Neil Armstrong and Aldrin, became the first human being to walk on the moon. They would have used 10 of thousands of such examples to fine tune the model. So in GPT-3, what it used was, it never used to have the context. It will never look into 6-year-old child context. It will just take the information, compile it, and regenerate the content, which is for all age group. But here, according to the age group, it has fine-tuned the model. And it is fine-tuned for the level of the people, which is called leveler. Okay. So it means that after some training is given, after you prompt and you tell, the fine tuning happens. The fine tuning, which is what's not happening in GPT-3. So I'll just go quickly to this. So you can see here the fine tuning again, one more example. I'll just skip this because I have very less time now. Just go to the other one. Okay. So now for you as a student, why you should be learning the generative AI technology, and as a developer, how it is going to helpful for you. So what it happens is, if suppose if I'm not able to finish today, I'll continue a part of it tomorrow with the no code AI part. So what happens, because these are something which is necessary for you to know that how it's going to help you for you building your career. So it's now very clear that each day passing by, more and more organizations are adopting artificial intelligence. They are incorporating it, whether it in the product formation, innovations, or maybe running their organization operations. So organizations are using AI in some form. That is what we have. It's a known fact. So uh, it will be soon believed that AI will be a necessarily technology rather than a luxury. Okay, it will become a day-to-day technology. Not only in the strategic level or tactic level you're using it in operational level also. So GPT-3, for example, has demonstrated both the rapid. So as I was telling you this, so GPT-3 is demonstrated both the rapid progression of AI value and open the possibility for innovation. And let us look at some of the skill that businesses may want to identify and acquire as a plan to develop AI in future. At the leadership and management level, okay, it's important to have a high vision for AI. That's how they are choosing the leaders now, like Sundar Pichai or Satya Nadella or Ajay Banga. They're going to require education, and they also need to have a strong clue on where the technology is heading in the next few years. They need to be proactive. The leader must also attend a good understanding of AI providers and the solution they are providing. They also need to have identified the roadmap they will be following to develop the AI or to integrate AI into their product and services. So management should be prepared to take some additional investment risk and be open to experimentation. That's what is happening. There was a recent research in Harvard Business Review which claimed that early adopter of innovation using digital technologies is growing twice technologically conservative. That means they don't want to use technology. For many organizations, short to medium, organization plans, what they make, they are going to be the primary focus on acquiring a tool with integrated AI. So data analytics, geospatial, information system, financial modeling, these are something which is off the shelf. And these are certain things which are highly in demand. Many of the XaaS service, or which we also call everything as a services, solutions, which is a cloud computing platform. We have, the SaaS, IaaS, and PaaS, but XaaS services is something which is going to be in demand. Oracle, Salesforce, SAP, and other companies, they will include AI enhanced capability. So some simple example include optimization technique, spreadsheet, managing decision suggestions, and all these things. So growing number of businesses are now powered with AI solution. Okay. So if this is for the organization, so that means what? The AI is going to be a big thing. So if you are an engineer or if you're a software developer, then AI, if you know the AI supporting language like Python, C++, or Java, or API or application program interface development, then you will be in demand. Okay. GPT-3 is also an added skill now because it's an example of API-based service. So finally, to complement the technology team, you need to have the user design, business analysis. You can become a project management. You have to be a contributor to the organization development, and that development is very much aligned with AI. Okay, these are the positions which are available for people who are with generative AI or all kinds of AI, different kinds of AI evolving. So you'll become AI engineers, data scientists, software engineer, UX designers, design. So you have different kinds of MS programs on this available in US or in any other country if you're looking for it. Okay, and all these things. So when you're talking about the career in what kind of career you can expect, okay, because we should also know that what we should look for and how should we develop ourselves. So when we're looking for ourselves, so all these things I'll just skip it off. So this is what is required now. The company required this, people who can improve their workflow, who can analyze large data set, who can improve their customer experience, who can help in security monitoring and detection, who can handle the routine task. So there is a big collaboration happening, students, between business and IT department. No longer IT run as an isolated, separate design, separate parallel department. So management and IT departments are merging now. So that's the reason the programs are also merging. So that means that the uh, uh, you require a multiple management as well as IT skills. So top 5 skills which include support, the troubleshooting of AI is AI algorithm development. Okay. Software development, cyber security, data analysis, all these are top opportunity for the professional. If you're looking for AI, then you should know how to support and troubleshoot of AI issues, how to develop AI algorithm, how to be in the software development and cybersecurity, AI and cybersecurity. I have one student today, his name, it was a very proud moment of me. He has sent me from New York, and his picture has appeared on the New York street where for as the best intern of Morgan Stanley. And it's a very proud moment for me when he sent that. Okay. So OpenAI platform, Codex, is very useful for you people. And now I'm going to talk about the developer. So how we can use Chat GPT for developer. OpenAI platform for developer are Codex and DALI. One more platform which is very popular is Playground, which is very popular among developers. Chat GPT is also very popular because it is simple, more versatile. You can hold conversation, you can write blog, you can manage code, you can write code, you can fix error. All of this is done for free. You can think Chat GPT of AI model which can keep generating text based on prompt. So it uses a deep learning to understand what you are saying, and it come up with a response that sounds much like a real person or a real human being. So a lot of people get actually confused because they say, if Chat GPT use language model to train AI model, then why OpenAI has developed it when already Codex was already available? So what's the difference between Codex and Chat GPT? So Chat GPT is based on NLP, whereas Codex can understand only coding. Chat GPT can understand any English prompt. So the limitation of Chat GPT is also something which now everybody is working, and you can also think about providing solution for that. That is providing incorrect info, may provide sometimes harmful and biased content. It has a limited knowledge of current affair. The data is available only before 2021. After that, it is not. So it is trained on the data availability before 2021. So you can do anything. Okay. Like, for example, you can do a general task, like you can write a leave application, you can write the content of your blog, you can make a poster, you can ask for best book in Python, for example. The limitation will be, it will show you the book only before 2021. After 2021, if the latest book has appeared, it won't show the data. You can do many things. So what we'll do as students, because now the time is very do a best prompt to get best result on general questions like writing contract for certain things, developing content for case studies or something like that, or some example of Python, HTML and CSS, JavaScript example. Let me see if I can get example of Node.js. I'm not so very good with this, and SQL also not going, but definitely Python, HTML and JavaScript we can do that. And we can see how we can use even Chat GPT. Also in the next session, I will be talking about integration of Chat GPT into Microsoft Office. how Microsoft Office and how this is a must skill now. That how do you use ChatGPT in Excel, PowerPoint, and create a wonderful presentation. Excel, you can do better calculation. You don't have to memorize the formulas and anything. Okay, so the next session will be on this. So I'm going to end my session now. I'll open my session for questions. If there is any question, we can take up that. Yeah, students. Any questions? You can write in the chat box, students. Hello, somebody is there? Nobody writes. Okay then. Okay, so we wind up the session now. Hello, somebody is there from QNX?
Yeah, ma'am.
Okay. So we'll wind up the session because what I want to teach them will take some time, the demo and all. So I will do that tomorrow in the session with the demo and all part. Okay. And we'll end up the session here only.
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Thank you so much. Have a nice day, students.
Thank you,
Thank you,
madam.
ma'am.
Bye.
Thank you.